Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
So joining me today, I have Mark Gerbes from Spectrum Collision. Mark, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Beach FM Business Lunch Show. I want to get to know you a little bit more. I don't know a huge amount about collisions, but this is more about business, so we're going to jump in and find out a little bit more about Spectrum Collision, if that's okay. What's your history there? How long have you been operating?
So Spectrum Collision Repairs was well established over 20 years ago. We have currently owned the business for 4 years.
Okay. Where did you come from? Where were you before?
Where was I personally or in business?
Well, what made you buy the business 4 years ago?
So the company was actually liquidated.
Okay.
And I was employed there as a refinisher. So out of necessity, we purchased the company.
What decision making went around that? Like that's fairly, it's a big thing buying into a company that was liquidating. What sort of thoughts went through your mind when you thought, hang on, I think I can do this and keep the business running?
There was a few red flags initially, a lot of grey areas. Bear in mind that I was an automotive finisher, not a businessman at all.
Yeah.
And the grey areas being purchasing a company out of liquidation. I had heard that it's a fairly stressful process, and it was.
It was. Where did you go for advice for starting your business or taking over this company?
So I'd like to say that we didn't wing it. My wife had a lot of input in that area. And she did seek some legal advice through our lawyers and whatnot, and it all sort of fell into place.
Can you remember how long it may have taken you to kind of get your feet on the ground business-wise, and did you have to let go of the hands-on stuff that you used to do in the business, or are you still doing that?
Oh, no, I'm still very much hands-on.
Okay.
I think I wear a few different hats during the week.
Yep.
But no, certainly... I think we're always still learning.
Yep.
Like I say, we're 4 years in, and every day there's a new challenge. We're willing to accept those challenges. My wife and myself make a pretty good team, and we have a good team to back us also.
Have you changed anything, do you think, from when you first started it? Because you did some research, you got some advice, but you still essentially jumped into a business that you haven't really done before. Did you change anything from that 4 years ago, can you think, or is it too hard to tell if there's been any changes?
No, certainly we've made some major changes.
Okay.
Total rebranding and facelift to the building, company vehicles, and upgrading the plant, as well as a new waterborne paint system supplied by PPG. So all new modern stuff, way above my pay grade. I've refinished for about 20 years now.
Okay.
And I've sort of handed the reins off to the new technicians.
So has that now enabled you to bring in different customers that you wouldn't have had before, the company wouldn't have had 4 years ago?
Certainly, I think that the new technicians bring a much broader spectrum of a skill set that I ever possessed. So we'll do anything, any substrate basically, boats. If I could fit an aeroplane, the boys wouldn't like me to say it, but I would fit it in there. Certainly broaden that. The scope of what we can achieve.
So is the future a little bit different to what you thought when you started out? So your future looks more looking at technology rather than hands-on. Was that wise? Is that safe to say that it's more technical now than what you thought it would ever be, and you're going to continue that way?
Certainly, yeah. So our industry is forever growing. New technologies are available, readily available weekly almost. There's always something that needs money spent or updated. And I guess it is a bygone era. The panel and paint sort of thing, that's the old name of the company, Spectrum Panel and Paint. We're more advanced repair techniques and refinishing.
How did COVID affect you, and what did you do if you could you still keep working, or you had to close down for those weeks?
So we were available to repair vehicles through level 4, but no, I mean we didn't feel that it was necessary. So we had a few vehicles in lockdown, about 20 vehicles to be precise, all sort of lockdown. But I guess people sort of, they just stayed at home, like the Prime Minister told us.
Well, I guess would I be safe to say there were less accidents anyway?
Yeah, certainly less vehicles on the road. I think the police were out patrolling, and I think it was just, basically shopping only.
And it's not necessarily collisions that you do, is it? You do a lot of different things there.
Yeah, so we do a lot of custom fabrication work on modified vehicles and classic vehicles. Basically, any vehicle that someone wants to spend their hard-earned money on, we'll take on.
But talking about hard-earned money, it's not just you, running your business. You also support a lot of the community. So you're a business person, but also a community-minded person. Do you find that's important for your business to also support and give back to the community?
Certainly do, especially for the aged population. We always feel that they should get a discount, and so we're obviously giving the gold card 10% discount. And my wife is happy to sponsor almost anything. I've got a list here I can rattle off with.
If you could, throw a few of those at me, because I think it's important for people to know that businesses aren't necessarily all about just getting the money in that they're supporting. So, please do. We
certainly support the locals. So gold sponsors at the Kapiti Performing Arts Centre, Lions Historical Calendar, Police Managers Guild Trust, Web Genius Fun Run, KCU Football Club, and Scout Trips. Not to mention, the wife's probably forgot half of them. So we're always willing to give back to community.
I can hear there's maybe a little bit of yin and yang. Are you two? You sound very well suited to business because you can.
I think what I don't bring to the business, the wife certainly tops up.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. So discounts for pensioners with a gold card, not on parts obviously, but on everything else. How can people get in touch with your business? What's the best way? Have you got a website or Facebook?
Well, you certainly do. Thanks to the team at Web Genius for an awesome website. It's very, very user-friendly, even for elderly people or the 10% discounters. They'll come in raving about how simplistic it is. So go ahead and have a look on there anyway. It's a quick Google search. Or failing that, we are literally 125 Remy Road, Kaparan, not far from Pick and Save on Remy Road.
Oh, great. That's nice and easy. Yeah. I like what you're saying too about the website. That's a really interesting thing that you brought up, is that you've thought about your customers as well. So you've gone out and deliberately sought a website that people maybe who aren't as savvy on the interweb can.
Like myself.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to be elderly to not be able to use the internet.
No, so it's pretty simple icons on there, and depending on what your preference is, whether or not it be modifying a drag car or through the Toyota Camry that you've had a little scratch, it's easy to navigate.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you very much for that. Well, that was very interesting finding out about where you are and what you do, and also, good on you for sponsoring locally as well, supporting local. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
106.3 Beach FM.